Good evening, all, and welcome to Goonies View from Block 5 with me, your host SJ. Pre-season has begun, and the boys are coming away with a 1-0 victory, courtesy of Bukayo Saka's second half strike. We're going to get into that today, but before I do that, if you're watching or listening on YouTube, please like and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, please leave a 5-star review, 5-star rating. Be very grateful. Thank you very much. So, the team sheet came out an hour or so before the game. My initial thoughts, Norgard. He was our only new signing that was going to start. Surprised myself. I thought Zubimendi might start ahead of him. But there's plenty of games in pre-season to go around, so I wasn't too fussed about it. The omission of Big Gabby, I was a bit concerned initially when I saw he wasn't in the team, but when I look back at the timeline of his injury and overlay Havertz and Saka's injury time, he would be coming back right now to play. So I think it's best just to rest him and ease him in as much as possible. And I expect that he'll get minutes now from now to the end of pre-season. So I'm not too worried about that too. In his place was Calafiore at left centre-back, which I think is his best position. Left centre-back or a free. I'm not too sure about him at left back. I think he's a bit chaotic and a bit of unknown entity at left back, So I think he needs to just work on his defensive acumen first before he goes forward. So I was happy to see him at left centre back. Zinchenko, he's actually filled in at left back. I was surprised. I'm not sure that he's going to feature much next season. And I was wondering, are we trying to garner some interest in Zinchenko possibly? Let some Premier League clubs know that he's available, because he would improve quite a lot of players, quite a lot of teams in the Premier League. He's just not at the level for us to get us over the hump that we need for a Premier League or a Champions League, but he's still a good player. He's a Premier League champion, so he's been there. He knows that. He's worn a T-shirt. So I don't know. Maybe it could just be we didn't have no players available to start, and he's just filling in. Either way, he's playing. He's played. And I don't think he had a bad game, but I'll get into that later. Havertz, I was happy to see Havertz back up top. It's his first start since his injury. Obviously, he made some sub appearances when he came back just for the end of the season. We've all seen the pictures online. He's looking a bit bigger. So I was just hoping to see how he'll use that extra bulk. Will it be more passes into him, holding off defenders? Yeah, so that was my hope, and we'll get into that. So overall, I think it was a very strong team, as expected, because I didn't think any of the academy players would start, as I said on the last pod. And also, I just think there's no better preparation for matches than match preparation itself, In training, it's all a bit one pace. There's intensity, but it's not as intense, and it's not real life. It's not real like an actual match itself. So I'm happy that we put out a strong team. The first half, just from a team perspective, when the game started, I thought we might be trying out a new system, because I didn't see any of the fullbacks actually invert. So I was very surprised, and I thought, okay, I can go with this. We're trying something new in pre-season. But after 5 or 6 minutes, that was poo-pooed, and I scrapped that note because Zinchenko was evidently and very much so inverting in that first half. I also think at the start we tried to get Martinelli going more. Our attacks were based down the left in the first 5-6 minutes mainly. I did jot down a note, Martinelli doing his dribbles, his trademark dribbles, where he taps it. I guess that's going to feature in the 25-26 season. I was hoping he might have grown out of that, but it worked for him sometimes. It worked at some point in the second half. He did beat his man, little nutmeg, and nothing came of it. Cross got blocked for a corner. So, Martinelli, I'm sticking with him, and Trossard, if we're able to get someone better than that, so be it. But I'm riding with Martinelli to the wheels fall off. So as the half went on, as I said, we seemed to start on the left, but we seemed to revert to type, in my opinion. Going down right hand side with Saka and Wineri. That's not a bad thing, I think Saka and Wineri, I'll get onto them in a bit, but I think they were our best players. So if you've got your best players and they happen to both be playing down the same side, you're going to automatically, naturally just keep going down that side to them. You know, if it's working, if it's not broke, don't try and fix it. So did they trouble us just in that first half in general? I don't think they did trouble us. David Raya didn't have a shot to save. Just shows our control, our dominance that we had. The possession stats say they had more possession, but I think it was more possession for possession's sake. They weren't doing much of it. It was more around the back and in the midfield. Because again, we looked like we were difficult to be broken down, which is what we've come to expect over the last couple of seasons with our setup. And I do think at times we tried to maybe transition quicker. There was a couple of times where we gave the ball away, but it was because we were trying to get that ball from back to front a lot quicker. And Ethan Nwaneri, I'm going to speak about in a second, I felt like he was a very good outlet. And on that half turn, he was bang, bang. He was trying to get the ball out wide. Straight when we got that ball, you have Saka, Martinelli trying to break away, and Havertz, of course. Going individually, looking at our new signing, Christian Norgard, I think he started a bit shaky. He lost a couple duels. You know, it's not ideal, but I can understand it. It's his first game. It's not competitive, but it's his first game for Arsenal. Making that big move from Brentford to us. We're Champions League challenging team, Premier League challenging team. I would expect nerves in his first game. And obviously he's fighting for a position with Martin Zubimendi, our big summer signing. So he may feel himself he has to be perfect from the get-go, and that added more pressure to his game. But I think as the half wore on, I think he calmed down. He kept the ball ticking over, collecting the ball for Zinni, working it across. And I felt like he was trying to do quite a few forward passes. So he would be zipping that ball into Havertz. But what I think is that the passes that he were making were good, but on the other end, so on the Havertz side, the chances of us retaining the ball based on how he was very low. I'll compare that with Zubimendi for the second half, but it was encouraging that Norgard was making those forward passes. You don't want to discourage that at all. And you never know, like you could pass it into Havertz, you could flick it around the corner for a Saka oncoming, a third man run from Nwaneri. So even though the passes were not coming off as such because Havertz was getting snuffed out by defenders, it's not something that I would see as a negative, and I think it's something we should actually continue doing. So yeah, I think that was a very good positive from Christian Norgard. As I said, our right side, being Saka, White, and Nwaneri, was ticking over well in that first half. Saka in particular, he looked like he's back to his best. When he came back during the season, I wouldn't say he was rushed, but I'd say he came back injury-free, but not fully fit, which is understandable because we're challenging for the Champions League. And if you're injury-free, you're going to get thrown out there and just say, do what you can with what you got, what energy you got in your tank, you know. So, but he's had a rest this summer. He's been away with his family. He's come back. He's looking very sharp, like he did before he got injured last season. It was very promising. Like I said, we kept going back to that well because he has a fullback on toast. Beat him a couple of times, linked up well with Nwaneri and Ben White. He was tracking back like he always does. You know, Saka's not one to watch the play around go by him. He was tracking back, made some great tackles in the defensive third in the first half and second half before he came off. And like I said, yeah, he was linking up well with Nwaneri, who I'm going to speak about now. Even Nwaneri, he played in the right 8/10 position where Martin Odegaard would normally play. I put down 2 points about him: at home and the shackles off. So obviously this is a position that he is accustomed to when he came up through the academy ranks. So I felt like he was back at home for himself. Last season, he filled in for Saka during his injury. He did a great job. I'm not going to poo-poo his performance last year. He came in a position where he's not accustomed to. I don't think he made many appearances, if any, in the academy in that position. And he filled in well, chipped him a couple of goals, Man City goal, came off the bench, banged against Ipswich, looked lively against Leicester in bits, even though Marina stole the show. So yeah, I mean, he looked like he was at home today. So he's a player for me who I think likes to get on the ball, drift, and make things happen. And it felt like he was able to do that today very well. Like I said previously, he was an outlet. He's getting the ball in the centre circle on a half turn. And what I would say, I think his half turn is different to Martin Odegaard's. I think it's quicker. So I think when you get the ball to him, he lets that ball run across gets on his back foot and turns a bit quicker than Martin Odegaard. They're both effective, don't get me wrong. I just feel like when Harry does his turn, he gets it quicker and is able to progress the ball quicker than Martin Odegaard does. But like I said, they're both tremendous at it. There's not much difference. That's just an observation that I think that when Harry's half turn with the ball is quicker. He had some good shots. I mean, like I said, he was drifting, so he was playing on the right, but his first shot came from the left. He's received the ball. It's bounced up a little bit, and it's a great half volley shot, brilliantly saved by the goalkeeper. And then a couple minutes later, he's on the right-hand side, pick up a ball, cuts inside, scuff shot, goes over the bar, but he's there. Ethan, what I'll say about Ethan, he's not gun shy. Martin Odegaard's been accused in the past of holding back the ball, not letting off shots, being very gun shy. Someone who likes to feint a lot and just doesn't shoot much. I don't think we have that issue with Ethan Nwaneri. If he's in and around that box, he's letting fly. He's not gun shy at all, and that's something I think my Odegaard could learn. Actually, I mean, he did that a couple of seasons ago. He needs to get back to it, but he could learn from Ethan that when you're in that position, you have a left foot. I love left footers, to be honest. It's just a personal preference of mine. I think left footers, they make the game look a bit more. It looks better when you have a left foot. So if you're in that position, just do what Ethan does. Get out your foot and get a shot off. And with that second shot I was talking about, it was a great first touch that allowed him to get that shot off. Because I don't think it wasn't the best pass to him. It was kind of a loose ball to him, and he just bang, trapped it and got the shot off. Again, that was just fantastic for me. Their best player for Milan was Rafael Leao, if you could say their best player. His performance is what I would describe as a compilation performance. So what I mean by that, you see these compilations you see online where players have little clips from games all clipped together to make a 5-minute video, and you're like, wow, yeah, we should sign him. That was how I saw Leao's performance this in the first half. It wasn't his fault. I mean, we dominated, even though the stats for possession doesn't say that. He had a good spell where he just nutmegged Nwaneri, did a little flick around the corner. He had a chance where he ran against Saliba. Saliba caught him up and maybe should have got a corner from it. But he also, he did a through ball for one of his, I think it was for Pulisic. But other than that, he didn't do much. But if you put those moments together, you think that he had a sensational first half. But for me, that really wasn't the case. Like I said, he was actually playing up front for them, and David Raya didn't make a save. So, it wasn't the best performance from Milan as a whole. But that for me, he was their bright spot, along with Ruben Loftus-Cheek, a player that I've actually admired. I liked him since his Chelsea days. I think he's a very good player. And when he was available, I was actually saying, could we possibly get him in a left 8 position? Because he's a big, powerful player. He's got good feet. He's got an eye for goal as well. Well, yeah, it wasn't for us. He went to AC Milan, and the rest is history. So 0-0 half time. Second half, we make a few changes. Zubimeni comes on. Trossard comes on. Marcelo Skelly comes on. Kivior comes on. Zubimeni, let's talk about him as our other new signing. He was very good for me. His passing in comparison to Norgard, like I was saying before, Norgard was making his forward passes, but the chances of us keeping the ball on the other end were lower. Whereas Zubimendi was making those forward passes too, but they were just to players who were open, and the passes just seemed more easier to control and help us continue with our forward progress. I think he's very calm and composed. There's 2 points I put down for Zubimendi. He's very calm and composed. He kept the ball ticking over. He was sold short by Lewis Skelly at one point. He didn't just watch him admire, angry for his toys at the Prem. He tried to win it back, slid, didn't quite make it, but he showed the desire. You know what I mean? If your teammate may have sold you out, but he didn't just stand there and complain. He was on it and tried to get that ball back. Just going back in the team itself, when he came on, I was glad that he played with Odegaard and Rice, because I think that could be our starting three when we go to Old Trafford. So it was nice for him to get even 15, 20 minutes with them. I think he'll get more as pre-season goes on. But we look more solid. We completely dominated AC Milan in the second half. Even with the possessions that said that we had more possession in the second half, we played most of the ball was played in their half. I mean, they did counter once or twice, but that was easily snuffed out by Saliba, snuffed out a chance. I think Leao cut inside and had a chance, but just straight at Kepa. So I think Zubimendi coming on helped that. It just added a different solidity to the team that Norgard didn't. A lot of composure. Like I said, it's no knock against Norgard, because I think he grew into the game as it went on in the first half, and I think he will be a good deputy. And so when he steps in, I don't think there'll be any issues. It's just Zubimendi made it look a bit better, you know. The goal. So we scored Bukayo Saka around the 60th minute. It was well worked from the back from Kivior out to the right. And then it was worked back into Kivior to the left. Kivior's knocked the ball out wide to Trossard. And there's a great overlapping run from Mardley Skelly, which I think was the most important part of the goal. Because what he's done, when he's overlapped, he's created that lane to make the pass to Kivior. And he's frozen their defender because they've got a 2 and 2 at the outside now, which means the pass back from Trossard to Kivior was an uncontested pass, which means he could whip it in first time. And it was brilliant movement by Saka. With defender coming out, he's running in. Often you'll see those offside because the defender's got out just in time. And he's, I won't say scuffed it in, because Saka doesn't scuff the ball, does he? He means what he does. But when the ball went in, I did think, this could be offside. But obviously there's no VAR. The liner's given it. And on review, I think he actually was onside, so there was no issue with that. 1-0 to the boys. And shortly after that, just look at my notes, Saka, he in the defensive third, he's made a tackle and got fouled. I put my hands on my head, I was like, get him off. He stayed on for a couple more minutes, and then a couple of minutes later, he's won another foul on the edge of the box. He'd been kicked again. I was like, please, Mikel, please just get him off. He's done his bit for today. Get him off the pitch now, because they seem like they're angry because they're not having the ball and they should start kicking our players. But thankfully, he actually did come off after that free kick and enter the field. A couple of youngsters, Josh Nichols, Max Dowman, and a 15-year-old centre-back, Salmon. I don't want to butcher his name, so I'm going to say Salmon. And if it is Salmon, I apologise, Mr. Salmon. But Salmon sounds a bit more better. Max Dowman, obviously, he's our 15-year-old prospect. He came on for me, and I think he just stole the show from there on in. His first touch was on the right wing. You'd think at that age, most players, they get the first touch, they would lift their head up and pass it back to the fullback, complete a pass, just ease himself into the game. Not Mr. Max Dowman. He's tried to beat 2 AC Milan players because he's confident. He believes in his ability, and he almost pulled it off, but he didn't quite make it. Got tackled, but that didn't stop him. That didn't faze him at all. He kept going back to his toolbox and kept going back and trying to beat his fullback. And then shortly after, he's got the ball on the left-hand side, he's cut inside, with ease. Got a shot off, scuffed it wide. Like I said, he kept trying that, beating his fullback because he was very fearless. Very fearless. That's the points I put down for Max Diamond. Confidence and no fear. At that age, it's tremendous, to be honest, to be able to enter. Because we're not playing Bournemouth or Chelmsford or St Albans in a pre-season friendly, a lower league team where your ability for Arsenal will stand out. We're playing Italian giants, AC Milan, and for him to come on and put in the display that he put on, for me, was tremendous. And to be fair, when they had the water break, he was standing next to Airport Albert, and he looked big. I'm sure it was Airport Albert. It was one of the coaches. He looked big. He looked like a very big man for his age, 15 years old. I thought he'd be smaller than that, but he's tall. He's a bit slight, but that's normal. He'll grow into, he'll grow into his body. So, but what I do like about Max Diamond, just finishing on him, is his ability, how he uses his body feints to create more time for himself. So he'll get the ball and he'll just feint a little left, right. And the defenders don't know which way they're going to go. And he's got such quick feet, he's able to feint and go and just dribble. And yeah, you saw as soon as he came on, he won a foul. Yeah. Look after him, wrap him up. You don't want to burn him out too soon. You don't want to raise expectations too high than needs be. But yeah, I think the future is bright for Max Diamond, as we all do. I just want to just touch on our 15-year-old centre-back, Salmon. I've heard about him previously. Comparisons to Saliba, which is a very big shoes to fill. And if you're getting that kind of confidence so young, you must be a talent. He looked very good. He wanted to keep an eye on. He's made that raking pass over to Reece Nelson in the second half. He's looked confident on the ball. He's got seasoned vets playing up against him, and he's got on his right hand side Josh Nichols, another youngster. And I would like to mention there Zubimendi. I think Zubimendi, he noticed, he recognised, okay, I've got a 15-year-old centre back and an inexperienced right back, and he kind of dropped back and just gave them more protection. I think he made a great tackle in the defensive third. Just highlighting that, because you see that they might need more protection because they're youngsters against seasoned vets. The game just petered out after that. We were dominant. Trossard got some lovely touches, had a shot, just tipped over the bar. Martin Skelly started a bit shaky when he came on, but then he found himself. He was making some of his midfield-like passes from left back position, a nice little through ball into Trossard. Never got beat. A couple long balls over the top, you thought, they through, but no, it's offside. So yeah, he looked good. He looked very good, Martin Skelly. Kepa, he didn't have much to do. He's made, like I said, the shot at him, straight at him from 20 yards out, dealt with that easily. And he actually made some few saves in the penalties shootout. So yeah, we won 1-0, and after the game we had a customary penalty shootout, which we lost this time. I think in the last pod I told you we played them in the Dubai Cup and we beat them with penalties 4-3. Wasn't our time this time, but Kepa made some very good saves. Everyone knows Kepa's history with penalties, refusing to come off when he played for Chelsea in the cup final. But yeah, there was a point where we could have lost the penalties earlier, and he's made a match-winning save in the bottom corner. He did very much a favour of diving to his bottom left. And he was making decent saves. They weren't saves that were straight at him or very close to him. He was leaping to that bottom corner a couple of times. So yeah, we didn't get to see much of Kepa, even Ryan himself. We didn't have much test for them playing the ball out or pinging the ball out, because we pretty much dominated AC Milan all over the field. So yeah, all in all, it was a very good pre-season opener. It's very promising. I'm looking forward to how we progress against Newcastle, because I think it'll be a stiffer top opposition. Premier League opposition. You know, Newcastle, we've got a little needle with them over the past couple of seasons. Eddie Howe, they like to burn all our dreams. They beat us when we was going for top four. They beat us in the semi-final twice last year. Yeah, so I think that would be a tougher game. I'm looking forward to that. I'm going to put out a preview video for that game sometime this week. So yeah, look out for that. So I mean, until then, thank you for listening. Like I said, if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you're listening on Apple or on Spotify, leave a 5-star review, 5-star rating. And until next time, everyone, all the best.